Hi, welcome to DelMarVa Tech. In this video, we're going to talk about getting started with the Thonny IDE, the program we're using to program our Pico W. You should have it installed either by using the getting started video here, or if you're on a library computer, it should be already installed for you. So you'll be looking for a capital T, little h icon. Um, so if you search your computer and find that icon and click on it, and it should bring up a program. Yours might not look like this. You're probably going to come up white when you do it with the white screens instead of black. We can change that in the tools by going from tools to options and then themes over here, the tab for themes. And I like desert sunset, but when you probably load up the program for the first time, you're probably going to see something white like this uh, called the classic. I like it's everybody's choice, and it doesn't matter which one you use, the program works the same, but I'm going to go back to desert sunset and we'll use that. Right now, I brought it up, but I don't have a Pico W plugged into the USB cable right now. And you'll see that I've been using this for quite a while, and I got a load of programs that I've played around with on it. So you might see just a short list here, or maybe an empty list up here. If it's on if you got using your own computer, you'll probably decide where it goes. I think this is the default where it goes to documents and then creates a folder called RPI Pico. I think, I'm not sure, but it's probably in your documents area somewhere. If you are using a library computer, you probably want to change this and use a thumb drive because the library computers don't save they will save the program, but when you turn it off, they disappear off the programs because the next guy probably doesn't want to see what your programs are. And uh, anyhow, if you want to save it, which I think it's a great idea, you'll probably need to bring a thumb drive, and then you would just navigate this to the thumb drive, and then you could when you save the programs, you can put them on the computer. Let's go. When we do this, we end up with a blank when starting out here when you first start it up. So you could either start typing code, or since we're doing our very first program, we can slip over here to blinking the LED and go over here and copy just the code part. Oh yeah, let me move this out of the way. You can also, I believe, you see this little thing up here in the corner? This is a copy too. And once the check mark it means you copied it. So you don't even, whatever's in this code block just got copied. And I'll move myself back up out of the way. And then we'll go back to the Thonny, open back up the Thonny, and we'll just click here and paste, and our code comes through. So I chose the Discord server to try to make life easy, where you could pick up code in line as well as instructions for doing that. And plus we have another channel that is the chat, so that we can, if you have questions, you can ask them or whatever, and I can respond. So fairly new to Discord, but it seems like a good platform to use. So anyhow, we got our basic blink program here, and but we can't run it until we plug in our Pico. So let's plug in our Pico. And nothing really seems to happen, but it looks like it's still red here. This is called our shell. So this is where we write our programs. This is called the editor. This is the shell, and we'll talk about some of the functions that it has. It displays error codes and positive things down here, but we'll also show a little bit more. But we have to pick which port we have. So you click on these words down here, and then you, even though it's suggesting a check for that one, so we'll do that. And if you notice, once we do that, you get a message that looks like everything's good. And once you see these three carets or greater than signs in a row, that's like a prompt telling you that, yeah, everything's good. So and if you notice, once that happened, now it's split this file management thing here, and we got the computer plus we have what's on the Raspberry Pi. I've been using this Pi for a while, and I got a bunch of programs on it. We'll talk about, the advantages of having them on the uh, Pi or on the computer some other time. But for now, we're just going to save our programs onto the computer. But when we go to run them, they will actually run, the code runs on the Pico. It sends it out, sends the program out to the Pico, and runs the code, which in this case will blink an LED on the Pico. So once we have the blue lines here and everything's good and we have a code up here, we can just click the run button and the lights have started blinking. So if you want to change it, you have to hit the stop button, and then you'll want to change your program. So if I say, well, I also have a LED wired to pin 12, I can change that to 12. And then I can, now that I still have my blue prompt down there, now I can go, and now it's running again. And now another LED is blinking on there. So anyhow, that's what we got to do with that. And if you notice, we're still untitled up here. So we can save this program. We're going to show saving it to the computer, but it would work the same way saving it to the Pico, but we don't want to do that right this second. But anyhow, it's untitled, so we're going to have to save it, and we're going to give it a name. But you can't save it while my LED is still blinking, and this shows it's running. So you have to have your prompt down there before you can do that. So we have to stop the program. And once we get to stop, then we can hit the save button over here. And it's going to ask me, do I want to save it to the computer or save it to the Raspberry Pi? Like I said, we'll get to the Raspberry Pi on later on down the road, but we'll do it for this computer. So I'm going to hit this computer, and I have a lot of programs on here already, but let me move this out of the way. So you can see I already have a blink, which is this is called, I'm going to call it basic blink. And getting the habit of using an underscore instead of a space, because when you're programming in Python, your variable names cannot have spaces. So it's just as easy. And I don't think file names on the Pico, if you're saving it to the Pico, cannot have a space too. So get in the habit of using an underscore. So basic underscore blink. And it says it's saving it as a Python file, so that's good. So we're going to have it save, and you'll see that now we have the basic blink program is highlighted here, and it renamed the unnamed or untitled to this. So now it's saved, and we can always bring back to it. We can close this, and then you can bring it up again. So yeah, it working the way we want it to and everything. So now let's talk about the shell. Like I say, it's good for messages and tells you when you're good to go and everything. One thing, there's other things that you can do down there, but we're going to just do, we can print to the shell. And since we're in this loop here, this continuous loop, we're going to print So if you want to print a word, you have to enclose it in a single quote or double quotes, either one. You got to use both the same on both ends, but a double quote would work on both ends as well. And this means that you're a string literal. In other words, this is what's going to be printed. You can also print like variables. If you don't put them in quotes, you could put just the variable. And let's actually do that just to show. And we're going to do that. We're going to write the word loop, but our wait time never changes. But we're just going to print out that wait time just to prove that it can do that. And like I said, the string literal, we're just printing out what is inside the quotes. This one, we're printing out the value of whatever wait time is, and we just created a wait time of 1, so that's what it's going to print out. So once we got that going, we can go ahead and run it. You see this little star up here? That means that we changed our program and it isn't saved, but we don't really have to worry about that too much, because each time we change a program after we have it saved the first time, it'll automatically save it each time you run it. So now you can see that each time through this loop, it's going to turn the light on, wait, turn the light off, and wait, and then it's going to print out loop, and then it's going to loop back up to the top and turn the light back on. And you can see we're printing out the word LOOP, and we're also printing out the value of the variable there. So if we had a sensor where we were getting the temperature or something like that, we could print out the temperature, check the temperature and then print it out to down here as well. So that's just another use of the shell down here. Anyhow, that's enough for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy this series. Have a great day.